What's going on, YouTube? Got another knife review here for you. Today we're going to be looking at the Benchmade 470. This is the Emissary. This is a knife designed by Warren Osborne, who's famously known for the 940, the green aluminum anodized knife from Benchmade. He's also designed a number of other knives for Benchmade, the 580 series, so the Barrage and Mini Barrage, both in the 154 cm flavor as well as the M390 flavor. I'll talk a little bit about that later on in this review. But this is a knife that features a S30V blade. It's 3-inch long blade, and it's a 90,000th thick blade stock. So very, very thin blade. Features a prominent swedge all the way on top. It's almost kind of like a dagger grind, but not quite. And then a flat ground primary bevel here on this knife. Features dual thumb studs, so it's a totally ambidextrous knife, and that's one of the things that's good about Benchmade and the axis lock. So, you know, with all the axis locks, or most of the axis locks, they all have a reversible tip up carry knife, so you can carry it left hand, right hand. There's no, worry about liners going which way or not. Axis lock is always going to be the same no matter what, so you should be able to operate it just as you would with your dominant hand. So again, that's a really cool feature about Benchmade. It features aluminum handles, so it's just two aluminum handles that are CNC machined out, and then they screw together. So there's no back spacer or anything like that, no standoffs. And then it features this deep carry stainless steel clip, again reversible for left hand, right hand carry. And then inside it is an axis assist mechanism, which is housed inside. It has some kind of weird housing in here that's different than say the Barrage series. I've de-assisted the Barrage series and had no issues with it. It was a perfect manual flipper, extremely smooth on the phosphor bronze bushings, or I'm sorry, washers. But this one, if I'm not mistaken, when I took it apart, I'm pretty sure there were no washers in there. I think it just rode directly on the aluminum scales. Similar to this Hogue, the EX01 right here, there's no washers at all. The blade sits on the milled area of the aluminum. It kind of just sits out a little bit, so it almost kind of serves as washers, and it's very smooth. And so similarly, this could be said for this knife. It's really smooth, but again, you're talking about an axis assist, so it's flicking it out for you. Also features a little safety switch here on the left hand carry side. When engaged and the knife is open, you can't actuate the axis lock at all, and so and then also when closed, obviously it's not going to be able to open. So this is a nice feature, I think, especially for maybe people who aren't that familiar with knives, or don't want it opening, or worry about it opening in their pocket. I've really never had an issue or a time when a knife has opened in my pocket. Actually, that's not true. It's happened like a handful of times, but nothing where it's so bad. And this knife is so small, and it's hugged up against your pocket. Usually, I wouldn't think that there'd be any issue, but I don't know. With the assist, maybe it'll kick out. But anyway, that aside, there is that safety mechanism there if you wanted it. I actually traded this knife from a Benchmade 707 sequel, and the 707 is one of my favorite designed Benchmades of all time. I love the drop point or the clip point blade. I love the handle and all those things. But I just found, I don't know what it was. I never would carry that knife over a small Sebenza. If I ever wanted to carry a small knife, I would always go for the small Sebenza. And this is, earlier on in my knife collecting career. And so, now I would carry something like a CQC5, if I wanted to carry something small. It's going to be the same size and whatnot. But again, if you're not into these expensive knives or custom knives, this is a knife that you might find as a formal carry knife, a really small one that disappears in your pocket. And this would do a great job of it. It's extremely light, extremely thin profile when closed as well, and it's 2.2 ounces, and so it literally basically disappears in your pocket. You don't know it exists until you actually need it, which is a pretty cool feature of this knife as well. Here for just size comparisons with these other knives, you got the small Sebenza and Seago. Here is a CRKT Swindle. This is the grooved one with the Sandvik steel. Here is the much larger. This is the only other Benchmade I have in my collection with an axis lock. So this is the 810 Contigo, and then you have the Spyderco Southern flipper, and then here you have the large Sebenza 21. And again, these, in the way of size comparison, I bring these out, but also kind of just doing a little bit of a price comparison. And I think the reason that I do that is because, well, first, in terms of the retail price, this goes for about 175 or 180, depending on where you look. At that price, to me, I feel like it's not worth it at all. If you were to get it from a retailer, that I feel like that price is much too high. I was doing a little bit of research on some of the forums and saw some listed at around 120. And at around 120, I feel like, okay, maybe it's a little bit more doable. For me, I'd be more comfortable at the $100 range. I don't know, maybe you can call me cheap. But, in terms of what you get, I feel like it's not worth it as much as, say, saving. I've gotten Sebenzas for as low as $250, and I feel like you get a lot more of a knife than this one. You get a thicker blade stock, you get titanium frame lock, titanium scales, different features. The steel is going to be about the same with S35. Even this one, the CRKT Swindle, this is a $50 to $60 knife. The blade stock is going to be comparable. It's a stainless steel frame lock, but the Sandvik steel is not going to be that bad. And at half the price, this is a pretty cool option. It's a larger blade as well. It kind of features this unique pocket clip. I never carry it, but it's still a cool knife. Or something like the Southern. You can probably get around sub 200, right around the high 100s. Another frame lock flipper from Spyderco with superior steel in CTS 204P. In my opinion, this is going to be a good option. But if you're looking, again, if you're looking for that really, really small, tiny, light carry knife, this could be a really good option for you guys. For me, at the stage of my collection, and so take this all with a grain of salt, please. This would be one that, in hindsight, I would never purchase. I'm not even happy that I traded. I would much rather have the 707 design knife in my collection than this one. But like I said, for beginner level knife carriers or whatever, and the reason I got this knife in the first place or traded for this knife was because I intended for my wife to use this and carry this in her purse or on her pocket. Because it is so small, I felt like it'd disappear pretty easily. But women's jeans, they're like the pockets are like what, this shallow, and so you can't really put anything in there. And then she just doesn't carry a knife in her purse, even though with the safety I think it would be a pretty cool option to have in there. But yeah, she doesn't carry it, and it just kind of collects dust on my desk and whatnot. So I just wanted to get this out there for a quick review. Again, take this all with a grain of salt. Where I am right now in my stage of collecting, it's just not going to be one that I carry. Depending on where you are in your collection, this may be I mean, it could be a Grail knife, you know, and that's totally fine. That's actually awesome, you know, and more power to you. And it would be a great option as a formal carry knife. You know, it's got the slick aluminum, the nice shiny stainless steel clip, deep carry so it disappears, you know, in your pocket, and you have a good steel and a good slicer in this knife. So yeah, that's my little quick take on the Benchmade 470 Emissary. Yeah, I don't want to keep rambling on because I think I might just say bad things about it. But honestly, it's, as I look at it in the camera, it's a cool looking knife. You know, now they have the 477, which is a 3.5 inch version of this knife, as well as like a blue anodized aluminum version. And so, you know, they're still out there. You can still find them. If you can find them for a good price at around $100 or $120, I think that's pretty reasonable. So it's a good knife to consider, depending on where you're at in your collecting career. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next vid. Take care. Bye.